The wrap-up for the live market open on Tuesday, January 12th. Markets are still influenced a lot by oil prices and by Iran. Oil prices dominate the scene. They're at the $30 handle. This triggers talk about an emergency meeting from OPEC. Let's see if they have an emergency meeting. Let's see if they have any chance of moving markets, moving oil prices. Currently, just too much supply, not enough demand. At the $30 handle, both Brent and WTI. This has an impact on the loonie, perhaps not as much as expected because it's an overextended move already. 142.50, the highest levels in dollar CAD since May of 2003. Yes, Saddam Hussein was still alive at the time. It was just after the invasion to Iraq. The sky's the limit there. 142 is some kind of support. Okay. This has an impact on other currencies as well. Aussie dollar, despite the stabilization in the Chinese stock market, thanks to intervention from the Chinese authorities, but this is not fully convincing for the Aussie. 69.40 to 70 is the current range. We have the Australian jobs report later this week. Even the Kiwi dollar, that has better reasons to rise, is somewhat depressed. 65 to 65.80. What else did we have in the last 24 hours apart from oil? Well, why is oil falling? No news regarding Iran and Saudi Arabia. No news is bad news. Good news for Iran regarding sanctions from the EU. They're about to be lifted quite soon. No specific date. If Iran exports more oil, too much supply. And Morgan Stanley joined the $20 herd regarding oil prices. Okay, from the Fed we heard mixed messages. Not from Lockhart, not enough info regarding inflation for raising rates in March, but from Kaplan said there's enough info, but he warned also about China. Today we'll hear from Stanley Fischer, Vice Chair number 2 at the Fed. Let's see what he says. That could have an impact on expectations for a Fed hike and consequently the US dollar. Okay, what do we have today on the agenda? For this morning, we have the UK industrial output at 9:30 GMT with manufacturing production. It could be mixed. We have lots of central banks speak. 2 governors from the Bank of Japan, Kuroda. Low chance that he'll talk about the strength of the yen and what's going on in China, but who knows, he can surprise. And from the Bank of England's Mark Carney. But there's a rate decision in the UK. Nothing expected from Carney. He might surprise as always, but moves markets. Bigger speakers are Stanley Fischer of the Fed, number 2 at the Fed, and various ECB speakers. It's an ECB event. A goodbye to Christian Neuer, who led the Bank of France and had a role in the Bank of International Settlements. At 3 GMT, we have the US jobs for November. Another figure for the Fed to examine. They should be stronger than previously. And overnight, we have the Chinese trade balance. Remember, what's important is not the bottom line, but the level of exports and imports. They're both expected to fall. The question is how much. If they fall a lot, it's negative for the global economy, better for the US dollar against commodities, and even better for the euro and the yen, the safe haven ones. Remember, the euro today is not at its best as a safe haven. If we hear dovish comments from the ECB, we can have weakness in the euro. Okay, so these are the events for today. Let's see another currency pair I didn't cover. Pound dollar awaiting industrial output, 145, sort of a round number. I'm not sure it's very strong support. We talked about the Aussie CAD and Kiwi. Yen showing more strength. It dipped under 117 already. The resistance 118.20. The line in the sand, I think, for the Bank of Japan is 115. Okay, before we go, I see more questions here. Fabian, your analysis, forecast, and forecast to make it one of the best references on the web, and are highly appreciated. Thank you very much. I'm telling everybody about an excellent resource for great fundamental analysis and following the economic data and events in your Euro-Dollar weekly forecast and forecast. For the first time, you turned from bearish to neutral based. What's your bias today? Well, thank you very much for the very kind words. I'm blushing. As aforementioned, my bias for today is quite neutral. I think could see these safe haven flows, but we could see the ECB balancing it out. And I think we can have a tight range in euro dollar today around these current levels, 108, 109.50. Let's see if we can move further away. A tighter range for now means a bigger move later on. Anyway, thank you for the kind comments. And thank you, Ryan, as well. Guys, this newsletter Forex Crunch is solid. Not only does Yohay provide insight into the currencies, they'll also provide a list of the top 64 accounts to follow on Twitter for trading. If you don't have them, I highly recommend subscribing. Thank you very much, Ryan, as well. Yeah, so with this optimistic, with these nice words from you guys, I think it's time to say goodbye. Wish everybody